Hey crew, I've got the key to this 26 Aston Martin DBX S. And this week, we're gonna see what it's like to live with. Starting with the spacing in my driveway, which is 16 feet wide by 19.5 feet long. I've got the Aston parked very close to the edge. It's sitting next to a new Toyota Crown Signia that my wife is reviewing. If you wanna check out her content, it's at Mobile Mama on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. She did a fine parking job as well. It's pretty close there. And with that spacing, there's plenty of room to walk between the vehicles. We could get a wagon or double stroller through for our kiddos. The front end of the DBX is hovering just over the gutter, and I do have these curb ramps here for clearance, but obviously it being an SUV, that's not necessary. And at the back, there is plenty of room to walk in front of the hedge on the path to my front door. When first stopping inside with the key fob on me, I can just press on this part of the door handle and that will automatically unlock all the doors. Now, as I open up that door, hopefully you've got enough room between you and the vehicle next to you, because if I just go to here, it's gonna start closing itself. There isn't a defined notch. In fact, the way these doors work, you have to get them to a certain axis for it to hold its position, like there. Then it is gonna hold, and then I've got enough room to sneak inside the cabin, and doing so is very easy. It's almost a horizontal plane for me getting in at 6 feet. Closing up that door, it does have a soft close feature, so I don't have to slam it. Hey cabin crew, thanks for joining for this day in the life in the 26 DBX S. In this video, I wanna see what it's like to live with the more potent version of Aston's luxury performance SUV. Let's fire it up. There's that twin-turbo V8 come to life. Let's go listen to the idle from outside. Throaty. Now this is a proper cold start, and yet it's not so loud that I really think this is going to disturb any of your neighbors if you've got an early morning commute. The idle will settle down further, but even this, it's not bad. Now, before we roll out of here, I want to show you where I'd put the items I bring with me every day. Like my iPhone, which is sitting on this large wireless charging pad, so if you've got a bigger phone than my 17 Pro, you should be good. I just have the key fob sitting in one of the cup holders. Inside the console, I fit some snacks. I've got my Ray-Ban Meta sunglass case and my regular sunglasses, because this is felt lined, so it is going to protect the lenses and there isn't dedicated sunglass storage elsewhere. Inside the door pocket, I stuck a much smaller 20-ounce water bottle than my typical 32-ounce bottle, and my big bottle did not fit in the door. There is additional storage space underneath this console where I put my GoPro accessory case and my Racebox 0 to 60 timer. So I think the storage space is actually quite good. You just can't have large water bottles. Now let me throw on my seatbelts before I pull the gear selector down into drive. That will automatically release the parking brake. And as I roll on forward here, I'm just gonna make sure I am clear before turning the wheel. And easily making it past my neighbor's basketball hoops on my way out. As I begin my day in the DBX S, I can enjoy features like heated seats and, one of my favorites, a heated steering wheel. It's activated via this mini stalk on the column. It only has one setting though, so the leather wheel can get a little hot after a while. I wish it had different stages so I could keep it on longer. But the bigger issue is that for over $400,000 as equipped, the DBX S doesn't have ventilated seats or massaging seats. These are features you can find in vehicles costing $50,000, and they're not here. Of course, those $50,000 vehicles don't have a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 making 717 horsepower, or standard carbon ceramic brakes, or look anything like this. But, you know, the point still stands. It should have those features as standard. I do believe at least the vented seats, maybe the massage, are available as an option. Coming back to those carbon ceramics, I'm pleased that the brakes never squeal, and that is sometimes a characteristic of carbon ceramics, especially as they're getting warmed up, but it's not an issue here. And the responsiveness of that pedal is linear and predictable. You can easily come up to a smooth stop, while the 9-speed automatic is shifting gracefully in the background. Furthermore, if you are going to be sitting at that light for a while, if you press in hard on the brake pedal, it will automatically hold until it's time to go. And here in the GT mode, the responsiveness of that twin-turbo V8 is very satisfying because it's got plenty of perk, but it's not overzealous, so you're afraid of the vehicle if you're just getting your bearings. But if that's not, ooh, a Trackhawk. Anyway, if the GT mode isn't good enough for you, you can easily click over the dial into Sport or go the other direction into the individual mode, where you can calibrate the throttle response, the suspension firmness, and the exhaust volume. And the way I've set it up, we've got the baffles opened up, it's making the most noise. We have the sport level of response, not all the way aggressive, and the steering heft is in GT, and the suspension firmness is also in GT mode. This is a cool way to set it up personally, because you get just a little more out of that engine. You get the theater of the noise, but everything else is still very relaxed and very comfortable. And speaking of comfort, this adaptive air suspension is so pleasant, and on 23-inch magnesium wheels, I did not expect the ride quality to be this good, but it filters out the harshness of the road expertly. And complementing the smooth ride are these seats, which have lots of adjustments to them. I've found a great position for myself, and the tilt and telescoping steering wheel brings it out for a comfortable place for my hands to rest. The shape and contour of the seats are great as well, and the padding is not overly plush. It's not a weakened couch cushion, but it's also not firm like a board. Among other important daily driving details, let's see about the turn signal sound. It's a rhythmic thumping like a heartbeat. Now about the turning radius. Cranking the wheel, pivoting around in a nice tight circle, making the DBX very maneuverable. But now what if someone is driving recklessly on the road, permitting you to use horn? What are they gonna hear? It's got an air of dignity, but it's definitely expressing your exasperation. It's a good horn. I'm glad it's comfortable, but this is an Aston Martin with not only that 700 plus horsepower, but also 664 pound-feet of torque. I need to experience it. So let's do that. I'm gonna turn the dial over not to Sport, but also to Sport Plus before I just dip the toe in. Goodness gracious. Yeah, one more time. Power! Yeah, I fully believe this will do 193 miles per hour. There's not a question in my mind. Listen to that upshift. Oh, the crack of the burst out the exhaust. Yeah, let's go to manual mode. Play around a little. Oh, a little pop there. Ooh, and there's now a shift light. Interesting. All right, I have to shift a bit earlier than I was. The downshift is prompt. There it is. So you just predict the upshift a little bit more and it'll do it, but man, that power is just lovely. Yes. Yes. When you do anticipate the shift, you pull the paddle at the right time. It's just unbelievable. And the feel of these carbon paddles is wonderful as well. Nice and large. Good action to pulling them. That pace. While we're at it, let's see about a real-world 0 to 60. I've got my race box set up here to record from the Sport Plus drive mode. Foot on the brake, pin the throttle. Race start is ready. Letting go. Oh my gosh. This is an SUV? Really? They're 60 in 3.11 seconds. Holy cow. Okay, But what happens when you hit the brakes hard and turn the steering wheel? Let's find out. Carrying some healthy speed into this curve. Hard on those carbon ceramics, very nice response from them. And then, wow, really sharp turn in. And then it combats the understeer with some lift off and power and noise. Again, this is an SUV. I just need to confirm something though. I'm really curious about this. If I then just... Oh! Okay, so many things about the way this vehicle handles makes it rewarding and entertaining. It's the urgency of the turn-in with the magnesium wheels. First, the stopping power of the carbon ceramic brakes, then the balance of the platform, the responsiveness of the powertrain, and then the finesse, the delicacy of the steering. It really is very much like a high-end sports car with the way it gets through curves. And for an SUV, that is astonishing. The caveat always being that it weighs 5,000 pounds, right? So it's not light. And my jittering body may not suggest it, but I still want coffee. So I'm gonna hop in here to Moon Goat Coffee Roasters. And I have found a parking space, next to the E63S wagon, which has the same motor. Not with the same power, just, same engine. I'm gonna back into this space, especially because on one side of it, it doesn't have anyone next to it who could damage this $400,000 SUV, and that's the side I'm parking closest to with my high-res backup camera that has trajectory lines and the bird's eye view off to the side. I do like that the passenger side rear view mirror does tilt down, so I can easily plot the closest route. And parking sensors aren't gonna chime in here because the curb is too low. Let's get coffee. All right, got my delicious decaf coffee along with some beans and some for Mobile Mama. And look at that, F82 M4. Mean, sitting right next to a GR Corolla. There's always good car spotting in this lot. 911 Turbo S, blacked out, looking mean, spectacular. But then I return to the DBX S, which is, it's not even close, the best looking ultra high performance SUV by a long shot, especially in this Podium Green paint. Just fantastic. It's so distinctive. And then those Magnesium 23-inch wheels, along with the Aston Martin Racing Lime Green carbon ceramic brake calipers. I'm gonna pause the styling discussion for a second though. I wanna repark this car and get a good look at the full exterior. And there is a cup holder with an insert to keep it securely in place, and these are just gonna go on the floor. Here we go. This is a better unobstructed view of that classic gaping Aston Martin grille with a black mesh insert, and this vehicle has 30 grand in carbon fiber exterior pieces, including for this lower valence here and the surround for the intake. It even has fins in carbon fiber for the heat extractors coming to the side. Once again, gazing upon those magnesium wheels with a titanium finish, they're wrapped up in Pirelli P0 summer tires, 285 section front, 325 at the back. More carbon fiber for this side accent, door mirrors, and the lower sills. And the silhouette of the DBX is just so pretty. I mean, really, they got that windswept look, and the sculpting and the flared wheel housings and the roof line, which, by the way, the roof is now in carbon fiber on the S model, and there is that red S badge on the side to distinguish it from the 707. And then it finishes strong with the roof-mounted spoiler, curved ducktailing trunk lid, more carbon fiber down low for the prominent diffuser, and the quad angle stacked pipes. What a looker. I mean, really, Aston did it with an SUV, and I am just obsessed with this color. I wouldn't get it in any other hue, and if you're spending this amount of money, then I think it's worth the 10 grand of an upcharge for it. Now, let's go see what my mom has to say about the DBX S. Welcome, Mother.
Hello, son.
To the Aston Martin DBX S. I wanted to call it 707. This is the S. It's above the 707.
Wow.
Which you haven't been in, right? You were not in?
I have not. This is my first Aston Martin sport vehicle experience.
Oh, just a utility vehicle?
Just not the utility vehicle.
Just not the
Correct.
SUV. Okay, well, it's, as I found out this morning, quite lively.
Oh.
It's very entertaining to drive.
Well, it's entertaining to look at.
Más rápido.
The color combo is incredible.
Is this color not amazing?
It is. I love who designed the colors.
Yes, and they did a very nice job with the interior matching. I mean, I'm not usually going, yeah, green and blue, but this navy color on this interior.
Yes, and the bright yellow. It's just enough.
It's like a lime. It's a highlighter yellow / lime.
Highlighter yellow.
Yeah.
That I would agree with.
And this one has some extended contrast stitching, they call it, among the many options equipped to this vehicle.
This.
Oh yeah, the little, almost looks like a strap.
Like a little tab.
Yep. But it doesn't open anything. It's for style.
It's just to please you.
Yes,
when
and
you
it
look
is.
at that.
Isn't it doing a good job of that?
It's performing.
It's pleasing to me. I mean, otherwise, this cabin is just. I mean, what do you think of it? I think it's just beautiful.
It's so sleek.
Yes.
Everything is in proportion. The screen is just the right size, and it fits just there.
I was kind of complaining about it feeling a little small, but mostly just because I'm used to like large screens these days. This feels a bit more compact.
By comparison, perhaps.
Yeah.
I'll bet it's adequate.
It is adequate, yes, and it operates fine, and it has now Apple CarPlay Ultra, which I'll show you a bit later on, which is very nice to use. The one thing I don't love about this cabin is not all the carbon fiber, because that is beautiful. Like just it's a thick slab of that there on the doors with this nice stainless steel finish.
Yes.
And
no, there are no subprime qualities at all.
well, I was going to say that, except for what material don't I like in cars?
Glossy black.
Gloss black, and they had to do it. They put a thick slab of it right there with Aston Martin, right? And this one, it's not as bad because you're not touching it all the time, but it is collecting dust visibly. This one here, though, this is such a, what are you guys thinking? Because this is in contact with keys or any manner of accessory, accoutrement all the time. So it gets scratched up. It's going to look terrible in a matter of months, or at the very least a year or so. And it just is constantly smudged with fingerprints. So this I don't like at all. And it's with all your controls, you're constantly touching it.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
That's an accurate observation.
Everything else, though, is just beautiful. There's leather on all the surfaces.
Yes.
Even on the headliner, it's all the way up here on the headliner, which is perforated with contrast stitching.
This matches the seats.
Yes.
Perfectly.
Which, do you like the seats?
Oh, the seats are superior. I mean, they just, it's a gentle bolster.
Yeah.
Very gentle.
Yeah.
And the seat is just the right width for the average adult human.
Yep. Adult dog, I'm not sure, but adult human, yes.
Yes.
It fits.
My adult dog would not be invited.
There is one funny thing about this cabin. It's because Aston Martin is borrowing not only the 4-liter twin-turbo V8 from Mercedes, they also have some interior pieces. So I looked down at these cup holders, and this exact piece you would find in any Mercedes-Benz. Like the way the cup holders expand out to take on smaller cups. It's just funny that you can look there, and also the stalks for the turn signals and for the steering wheel adjustment pulled straight out of Mercedes.
I guess if it's, you know, high quality and it's going to work and it's like plug and play piece.
Yeah.
That gives Aston Martin more time to focus on some of the more Aston Martin-y things.
Very true.
That they need for their vehicle to make it super unique.
I agree. But allow me to show you the part from Mercedes-AMG that we are, oh, you're just going to keep going there, that we are happy to find in this Aston. Ready?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely necessary. 100%. That was spectacular.
Yeah, this V8 is, it's something else.
It has, oh, what a tone, what a note. It doesn't get any better than that.
Nope, and the thrust is prodigious.
Yes. Prodigious. Oh, you can escape from anything.
Well, that got us to our home improvement shopping very quickly.
It certainly did.
All right, let's go pop into 4 or 5 cabinets, see what they've got for us. Wow, I'm liking this one. All right, the mirror has been purchased, and now it's time to deliver it home in the DBX. But before I do that, I need to fold down the rear seats, hit these buttons here, and it just releases them. They're not actually power operated, so I have to go over to the side and then assist them with the rest of their descent. That's 1 and 2, and that doesn't create a fully flat floor, but it's got plenty of room. And I think it's gonna fit perfectly. We're in business. Today, I'd like to do a more involved test of practicality with a Costco run to benefit the charity Families Forward. There will be no mercy for the Martin because I've got a big haul for a good cause. Is it all going to fit? Well, let's hope so. Before we get started, I want to point out a couple things. 1, there's a lot of gloss carbon fiber here that I don't want to mess up, so I have to be careful loading things in. 2, this lovely leather cover might be in the way, so I'm easily going to remove that and hopefully replace it later. The DBX is pretty low already, but if I was smaller, I'd use the air suspension to drop the back end down, but as a 6-footer, I'm already hitting my head on the tailgate. I wish you could lift this up more. Let's get started. With some careful Tetrising, I think we're off to a good start, but of course it's how you finish that matters. Forged in the fires of bulk buying, the spatially aware are built, they are not born. Now I'm pretty proud of myself getting everything in here while maintaining visibility out the rear view mirror. Unfortunately, the toilet paper is gonna put a damper on that celebration, and yet, it fits. Now, after returning my cart, not here, there we go, like a responsible shopper. Ooh, nice 9964S. I can confirm that the Aston Martin DBX S is Costco approved. On my way to drop these items at Families Forward, I want to see about the cabin volume at highway speeds. Okay, so on the smooth tarmac, it's plenty quiet. Really don't hear much from the tires or wind noise. You get a little bit of outside traffic, especially when they're big rigs like this. But on the concrete slabs, that's when you get more of that tire noise and a little bit of vibration that enters the cabin. But for the most part, this remains a serene driving experience. If you were to commute in the DBX S, you'd be grateful for the driving assistance features like adaptive cruise control, where I can set my speed and adjust my following distance, and it will automatically maintain a gap to the car in front of me without needing to go to the throttle or brake. There is also a lane keep assist feature, so if I try to depart my lane over here to the left, it's going to pull me over before I cross over those lane markings. I wish it then had the lane centering assist as the next level of driving aids, because that really helps if you are going to be commuting in heavy traffic. You're not having to pay so close attention to your inputs to the wheel. You've got other cool features like Apple CarPlay Ultra, which not only takes over the infotainment, it also takes over the gauge cluster, giving it a new skin. The only problem with that is that now when you change your drive modes, it no longer gives you the different built-in changes to that display. It just shows you over here the mode you're switching back and forth between. That's kind of a bummer. But I do like that I don't have to exit the CarPlay menu to change the vehicle settings or even the climate control, although I am glad in the DBX I don't have to use the infotainment for that. There are these adjustments here to the temperature, fan speed, and also for the passenger. Now let's listen to the $12,300 Bowers & Wilkins audio system via that CarPlay. So let me find Spotify. It's responding quickly. Get my song of choice pulled up. Then, using the physical volume scroller, pull things up here, or I could use the scroller on the steering wheel. Looks to be about 65% there. Back up a little more. Well, I didn't expect needing to turn up the volume that much for something that has 23 speakers and 1600 watts, but when I did, I was very pleased with the sublime acoustic range. The highs and mids were clear, the bass was pronounced, and really enveloped me in the sound, and I definitely wasn't aware of what was going on outside the car. So this is a great sound system, and if you have the money, sure, upgrade. I imagine the standard one is pretty good too. It's about time to put some fuel back in this 22.5 gallon tank, and the DBX S is EPA rated at 14 mpg city, 19 on the highway, and 16 combined. That would give us a fuel range of 360 miles. However, during my time with it, I've averaged 10.7. And at current fuel prices, which are ridiculous right now, of $6.15 for the required 91 octane gas, it's gonna cost me $138 to fill this tank, but there's capless fueling to save me time. Well, crew, at the beginning of this video, I pondered what it would be like to live with Aston Martin's now more potent luxury performance SUV. And after quality time spent behind the wheel, I'd call it dazzling. The stunning exterior, prodigious performance, and sumptuous cabin will excite you every day. And the DBX will even tote your bulk buying and home improvement shopping in its large trunk. It isn't as quiet as a Bentley or as smooth as a Rolls, but the Aston Martin experience is serene all the same. With Apple CarPlay Ultra, the DBX is sufficiently modern too, though its standard feature set is lacking for this much money. The borrowed Mercedes-AMG parts fit well and do little to distill the British flair. I may not personally look to an SUV for my daily driving powerhouse, but if a lifted ride is your preference, and if parting with $400,000 doesn't bother you, then this is an incredible experience. I hope you guys have enjoyed this day in the life, and I will see you again next time.